I'm Master Sergeant Foreman, and I would like to congratulate you on your decision to join the world's greatest Air Force. In just 1 week's time, you will embark on a journey that only a small percentage of the population is even qualified to attempt, and that is becoming a United States Airman. Today, you are meeting with your recruiter and speaking with their supervisor for your 1-week pre-departure briefing. And believe it or not, today will be one of the most important days in your entire process thus far. It is imperative that you are open and honest with your recruiter, no matter how embarrassing or minute you believe the information to be. I am asking you to place faith in your recruiter and trust me that they need this information to help you to the best of their ability. This also includes information you may have previously shared with your recruiter as well. Depending on when that information was shared, we may not have been in a position to properly document it at that time, and we will need a reminder today. Any new information or doubts that arise next Tuesday can and more than likely will result in loss of your job as well as your ability to join the United States Air Force going forward. However, if you share this information with your recruiter today, we will do everything in our power to ensure that doesn't happen to you and that you still ship with your current contract on time. Now that we've clarified that, let's talk a little bit about what will occur today. It will more than likely seem very routine to most of your face-to-face visits or DEP commander's calls. Your recruiter will collect your height and weight and review the EAD shipping checklist, as well as ask additional questions for information as it pertains to your time in the delayed enlistment program. They will ask you if you have any new medical situations from the day you DEP'd in. Remember, you need to share everything with them, even something as minor as the common cold, because at this point, no situation or condition is too small, and as stated previously, you need to let your recruiter help you sift through what information is important and needed versus the information that is actually irrelevant. Your recruiter will also ask you about law violations. Again, we are trying to help you, so if you've had any infractions, even if it was something as minor as a parking ticket or a repair ticket, you need to inform your recruiter today. They will help ensure you have done everything that is needed so that it will not affect your ship date for next week. They will also ask questions that deal with payment history, new tattoos or body modifications, as well as other life situations that may affect your ability or desire to join the United States Air Force. As previously stated, and hopefully you're seeing a trend by now, we need you to share any and all information with your recruiter and let them help make sure these will not be an issue for you come next week. At some point, your recruiter and their supervisor are going to ask you if you have any doubts or concerns about shipping out next week. If you are, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing wrong with that, and we honestly expect this with almost every person who joins. What I will ask of you today, though, is please do not keep any concerns or doubts to yourself, no matter how small they are. We want to make sure you are making a mutually beneficial decision for yourself and the Air Force, but we cannot do that if you will not share your concerns or doubts with us. I promise you, if you keep them to yourself, they will all come to a bottleneck next Tuesday when you get ready to raise your right hand and swear onto active duty. Which is why we would much rather discuss your concerns with you today and help alleviate those concerns or adjust as needed if you happen to decide that this decision is no longer for you. Again, I repeat, it is okay to have doubts and concerns. And although ultimately we hope you still want to join the United States Air Force, it's okay if your mind has changed at some point during this process. Just be honest with us today. Last but not least, let's assume everything goes well today and we're on track to ship out next week. Now let's talk about what you should be doing your last 7 days to make sure you don't get yourself disqualified or injured, which will also prevent you from joining the United States Air Force. Your recruiter will probably tell you to live in a bubble for the next week, and although that might sound like a joke, what they're really trying to do is just get a point across to you. Unfortunately, it seems like activities or tasks that you have done 100 times before with no incident, for some reason, whether it be bad luck or just bad timing, seem to go wrong during your last 7 days. So do yourself a favor and limit these situations for yourself. If you're going somewhere and you could have someone else drive you, let them. as you do not want to risk getting a traffic ticket this last week. If this is not feasible and you must drive, this is not the time to see how fast your car can go. It's not the time to make red lights or roll through stop signs, as these also will result in infractions that could delay you. During this last week, it is also not time to play any type of sport. You would be surprised how an innocent game can quickly turn into a sprained ankle or any other type of injury, which will again stop you from shipping out. As an example, I had a young individual sprain his ankle playing ping pong in his garage just the Saturday before he was supposed to leave. And unfortunately, he ended up losing his job and could not go anywhere until his ankle could fully heal. I'm sure, not in his wildest imagination, did he ever think a game of ping pong would result in what happened. And I only share that story with you because I'm trying to make a point, and that is, do not take unnecessary risks, no matter how small you think the risk is. These are the reasons your recruiter will probably tell you to live in a bubble, and this is what they mean by that. In a perfect world, I'd honestly like to sit you right on your couch this Thursday and tell you stay there until you ship out. Obviously, though, that's not practical, let's be honest. So we need you to execute sound judgment with every little thing you do for the next week. In closing, we basically need you to be overly honest with your recruiter today and tell them everything, even if you think it's not important. We also need you to ensure you speak with their supervisor prior to leaving the office today, unless there is an emergency, in which case you will need to make sure you have their phone number before you leave. Again, thank you for your decision to join the world's greatest Air Force. We would like to welcome you to the team, and we wish you the best of luck.